All righty then.
All right. Well, here we are, back with you.
We are back at it again, and Donald Trump has an arc.
An arch. He has an arch to Trump.
An arc to Trump.
He's going to build an arch after he finishes burning down the White House. He's going to build a celebratory, triumphal arch for himself, as if he were a Roman general.
Do we have that picture? Can we look at that real quick? There it is.
What is this? An arch for ants? It needs to be at least 3 times bigger.
The breakdown starts now.
Rick! With the Zoolander theme, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Fits right into this week.
In so many ways.
Many ways.
Zoolander was one of my favorite movies from back in the day. And I guess it's a good thing that it's coming back around just in time for
everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, to see the demolition. It's like democracy's still standing, not the East Wing of the White House, which I've never been to. I've been to the White House, but I've never been to the East Wing. I've only made it as far as the South Lawn.
I will tell you, and I wrote about this yesterday in a piece that is on LS and on my Substack about the East Wing obscenity. They tore the entire East Wing to the ground. You can see this picture from Katie Harbeth, who is I think she still works at Facebook. I think she's still a senior VP at Facebook, but she took this as she was leaving DC. And you can see that the lie of, oh, we're not going to touch the White House. The ballroom is fine. You can see that the lie of that is complete. That is what is left of the East Wing. And that is nothing but rubble. And folks, if you're an American, and you're looking at that and you feel any emotion other than hatred and disgust and rage, then click off now, because you should feel those emotions. This is the most un-American, most disgusting act I could have conceived of by a president. And I've got a pretty vivid imagination. So
it feels like he's he's shoving it in our faces.
Absolutely.
The fact that he can get away with the most egregious of things, like to tear into any government building, let alone the White House, during a government shutdown at a time when people are about to potentially lose their SNAP benefits. This is worse than let them eat cake. It's like, let them eat nothing and watch while we destroy a symbol of hope and freedom. Like, what? Right now?
It is truly an act of historical desecration. It is an act of repugnant behavior, and he is doing it, folks. I want everybody listening tonight to know this. He is doing this to make you feel despair, and to make you feel like it's hopeless, and to make you feel like he has more power than anybody, and he can't be stopped. And I got to tell you, I am going to tell you, the next Democratic president, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I don't care about anything else, but they must rip out root and branch every fucking shred of this building. They must tear it to the ground, day one, hour one, minute one, shove it into carts, shred it, tear it up, bury it in the sea. They must tear up that goddamn patio, his disco patio where the Rose Garden once was, and replant it. And I don't mean this just because these are symbols of Trump, but they are. I mean this because Americans, if they don't recapture things like the White House, which is the people's house, as a sacred space and not as a vulgar, gigantic whorehouse where he will jam more wealthy donors in per square foot to steal money from them. If we don't take that out, that cancer will stick around. That disease will stick around. The virus will spread again.
We must take it out. We must sage. We have to.
We must sage. And I volunteer right now. I can run a jackhammer like a champ. I will jackhammer that patio on my own. You guys I got my own PPE and I got my own jackhammer. We're ready to roll. Let's do it.
Well, I will be on the junior varsity jackhammer team, and I will watch and I will learn and I shall jackhammer along with you because fuck that.
Fuck that and fuck
I never,
them.
yeah, I never knew I could feel so strongly for a building, and that despair
Yeah.
that you speak of, Rick. Like I felt a lot of that this week, and it was right after the No Kings protests, and I'm like,
Yep.
why am I? I'm like, am I? And it's like because it does it reminds you of how dark things are, and
Right.
we have an order of things that we have to talk about. We don't have Kate here
Yeah,
today.
we have so much going on tonight.
So I want to keep us on track.
I know.
The shutdown. It's I think we originally we were guessing how long it was going to last, and I was like, I don't know. I think I said 30 days or until they figure out how to get rid of the Epstein files, which maybe it's buried under the rubble of the East Wing. I don't know. But this is now the second to longest shutdown.
I think it's now passed as the longest shutdown. And I got to tell you, Maya, the Republican world is freaking out a bit right now. They've now had 12 public surveys and several of their own private surveys that have shown that people blame the Republicans and they blame Trump for the shutdown, as they should, because those are the people that caused it.
Well, yeah, and all of the websites that say it's the Democrats' fault, it's like, so doth thee protest too much? Like,
oh yeah,
like to have Kristi Noem at the airport, like it's the Democrats' fault. Like you go to the DHS one, it's the Democrats' fault. It's like, come on now, no one's buying it.
No one's buying it, and no one in their right minds is looking at this and saying, "Wow, you know what? The Democrats have a majority in the House and the Senate, and they control the Supreme Court and they control the White House. Oh wait, they don't control any of those things." And so people know, people get it, and I think the degree to which the nervousness is starting to break out is you now have Republican U.S. senators leaking to the press. You know, we can't make past the November 1 because if our people, and remember everybody watching tonight, 65% of the people who are on ACA Obamacare healthcare plans are Republicans in red states. 28% of the people who have an ACA plan are Republicans in South Florida. This is going to blow up in their faces, and they know it. They understand it, and it is getting very, very ugly for them right now. And they're going to break.
Well, that's the end.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
As much as people want to say that they're willing to suffer for the Trump administration, as much as, I'm sorry, not when this kind of like trifecta happens all at the same time. No, I Christmas is coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up. I do not think people are that willing to maybe. I think that was a lot of talk. I think we're going to call that bluff.
We're going to call that bluff, and I got to say, this is a moment where the Senate and Mike Johnson are very separate entities. Mike Johnson's people do not represent their states. They are all congressmen from the state of Trump. In the Senate, Mike Johnson is considered a bit of a clown. They are a little less about the theatrics Johnson's trying to pull off. You know, Chuck Schumer shut the government down. That's what he did it. And they're starting to talk to the Democratic counterparts in the Senate going, okay, can you give us a little something so we can just wrap this? It is not good for them. They are not in good shape on this. This is a really tough moment for the Republicans. And I mean, I feel for them. So
hey, Rick.
Much. Yeah.
Sorry. We're going to need you to restart your computer real quick. We're having some technical difficulties with your microphone, but Maya and I will talk about Trump signing Bibles while the government shut down while you're at it.
Well, that sucks, but I will be back.
Yeah, we'll see you in a second.
We'll see you shortly. Hey, Riley. How are you?
Hi. How's it going?
Good. I'm like, I'm never sure if it's my computer or Rick's microphone.
You never know.
Yeah, but just to put a pin in the thing that Rick said, I think for people who, we're looking at the hats. So
this is Trump signing Bibles and giving Republican congressmen swag bags while millions are at risk of losing their benefits right before the holidays. So something to think about.
this goes beyond tone deaf. Like, this is falling into the like and I ask myself, is any of this getting across to right-wing media? Because I use ground news to look through my news, and so I see what the blind spots are. And I can tell you, Fox News isn't showing too many clips of the East Wing of the White House going down. They're not showing the fact that SNAP benefits are mainly in red states. They're just not showing that, and so it's not breaking through in the way that I would love it to. Rick, you're back. Hi.
I hope I'm back. How's the mic sound?
Your mic sounds perfect. You sound fab.
God bless America.
Yes.
The dulcet tones of Rick Wilson.
Well, we'll still stand in.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Welcome to Wilson After Dark. We'll be talking about UFOs, cosmic energy, and all subjects that the government doesn't want you to know about.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Actually, I do think if the government
birds aren't real, man.
For another 2 weeks, we do need to switch this into Breakdown After Dark, and
it
needs to involve cocktails. Yeah. Like, at this point, I do not understand how our show does not include cocktails ever.
We've done that a couple of times, but it would be great sometimes to have cocktails during this show, because I got to tell you, at the end of reading through like our brief before the show, and the end of another day of this monstrosity we call a government, cocktails are like calling my name.
Oh yeah. No, and I haven't done the meditation, and I've been sick, so I haven't had to meditate, and I haven't gone boxing, and I haven't done the things. And so, like you said earlier, the despair thing, I was like, oh yeah, I feel a little bit of that. So if anybody out there is feeling a little bit of the despair, don't worry. We are all feeling it. It is I don't want to say misery loves company, because we're going to fight through this, and we're going to
Norm Eisen said that Trump is using an all of government thing against us. And folks, I want you to remember, we're going to eventually use an all of America thing against Trump.
Oh,
an all of society response against Trump.
Yeah.
So fear not. He can do terrible fucking things, guys. He can do absolutely terrible, awful things. But I will tell you one thing that is undefeated, and that is the actuarial tables.
Absolutely. And speaking of finances and money, I want to talk about the cattle farmers, because they are pissed off, as they should be.
Really? I can't imagine why American cattle farmers are terrified of having Argentinian beef imported into America.
Yeah. And Trump has his reasons for doing so, which I don't know if we have that clip, but
I think we have a clip of it where he insults the cattle farmers. Do we have that clip?
Question is, what do you have to say to U.S. farmers who feel that the deal is benefiting Argentina more than it is them, as they are
Argentina's fighting for its life, young lady. You don't know anything about it. They're fighting for their life. Nothing's benefiting Argentina. They're fighting for their life. You understand what that means? They have no money. They have no anything. They're fighting so hard to survive. If I can help them survive in a free world, I happen to like the president of Argentina. I think he's trying to do the best he can. But don't make it sound like they're doing great. They are dying. All right? They're dying.
What do you mean by...
Well, maybe if
Argentina first.
Exactly. Well, if I want everybody to recall that Milei is the president who gets his economic advice. One of his advisors was his fucking dog. And so, and Doge adopted and modeled many of the chainsaw the government policies, the whole afuera. And so, obviously, Trump wants to save Argentina for that reason alone, because we see how it's going there. And if they're doing terribly, guess who's next?
Let's be real, too. The $20 billion we're covering is not going to the government or the people of Argentina. Right. It's going to an American investor who invested in Argentinian, basically their version of treasury bills, and got busted out because Milei's policies are not working. And so Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, said, oh, well, we could just give Argentina $20 billion to make our boy whole. And then they just decided, fuck it, we'll double it. Who knows where the rest of that $20 billion is going? But these days, like $20 billion is like $20 million was 5 minutes ago. It's just like nothing burger.
And the peso's not a good bet. When I went down to Argentina in 2005, it was 3-1. When I left, it was 5-1, and that was 2013. And now the peso it's something like 1,600-1. It's not a good.
We're getting
bet
into the Weimar wheelbarrow range, where they had to carry money around in wheelbarrows because it was all devalued every day.
No, exactly that. And as far as importing Argentine beef, I actually, so at Trader Joe's, for those of you who have a Trader Joe's, you can get Argentine beef.
Yep.
And here's the tough part, guys.
It's pretty freaking good.
It's so fucking good. Like, I was like, I don't know if I should say this, but once you've had Argentine beef, you kind of don't want the Argentine cows have all this room to roam. They have, it's something like a hectare.
They're almost universally
cow.
grass fed.
Yes,
And
exactly.
Ooh, it's so good.
I was a vegetarian when I moved to Argentina. I kid you not.
Nice.
And I was like, well,
And
let
it
me
broke you.
Yeah, it broke me. They
It
broke me
you.
time. It's the meat course followed by another meat course followed by another.
Followed by some meat.
Yeah. So, but again, though, Trump interfering in markets, they have a good point. This is a guy who's supposed to be a free market guy. And now he's trying to control the price of beef by bringing in Argentine beef.
Let's be real about the free market thing in Trump. His free market philosophy is, as they say, more in the breach than the observation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Also, he sucks, but that's just another story for another day.
Well, and a lot of this, we used to talk about the distractions from the Epstein files, and then it was like, oh no, everything that's happening actually is terrible. It's not just a distraction.
Right. It's not just We're not just being played on this one. This really is some truly terrible shit, folks.
Yeah, but what is a distraction, or perhaps maybe you have some insider information, I don't know, Rick, but Santos being freed over the weekend.
I got to say, I don't have any inside information on this, except that I have a theory of the case. He is the ninth, I believe, eighth or ninth Republican member of Congress who was either in prison or going to prison or on trial for crimes, for felonies, that he's pardoned. And I think it doesn't matter that it was Santos per se. It didn't matter that it was Santos qua Santos, as we say in Latin. It mattered that he was doing something that was going to, once again, remind Republicans, you can commit crimes for me and I will get you off.
Yeah, it's some sort of weird assembly of like not a Justice League. What's the opposite of the
an Injustice League?
Yeah, like you just
a douchebag league. Yes.
Yeah. Basically,
yeah.
The lawlessness of it all is I think what's infuriating for
so much.
And it does feel like it's day in and day out. He said he possibly would even pardon Diddy. Is I don't know if you heard that,
folks. I want you to beware. I think he'll pardon Diddy and Ghislaine Maxwell on the same day to sort of like blow it up. Let's just keep this front and center. These two people are both sexual predators and sexual abusers. And if Donald Trump pardons one or both of them, it should tell you more, for our MAGA friends, it should tell you more about Trump than we could ever try to convince you of. Because it is coming, and it is truly, truly repugnant.
And we actually have the clip of him talking about. Let's watch it.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great.
How is that the fucking requirement for a pardon, that they get along? What?
He's very nice to me. You like him very much. Look, at this rate, Trump's going to say, "I'm pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, but she's now going to work as the hostess in the Donald Trump Barbie ballroom." The Epstein ballroom.
Oh,
I know, folks. Sometimes you wonder about the world and the injustice of things like this. I promise you, Ghislaine Maxwell is a monster, and monsters always return to their original form. The second she's free, this will happen again. And the families who have taken so much pain and damage from what she did to them, they're the ones who are begging for their testimony to be heard, and Mike Johnson is saying, nope, I'm covering them up. They're the ones begging for these files to be released in the public. And Mike Johnson and Donald Trump and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Danny Bing Bongo are covering it up. Every single one of them is involved in a cover-up of sexual predation and abuse. We are interviewing tomorrow, I think it comes out next week, the co-author of Virginia Giuffre's new book. I will tell you, I was reading some of it this afternoon. It is dark and it is riveting. And the abuse that this woman and Jeffrey Epstein facilitated and engaged in and promoted and spread. This is a world where the only solution to a Ghislaine Maxwell is for her to spend the rest of her life locked in a deep, dark hole with no human contact. Now, she is presently, because the Trump administration is going to pardon her, in a cushy federal prison, a club fed, where they have yoga and they can leave campus during the day. Whereas in a just world, she would face her accusers. In a just world, she would be imprisoned for the rest of her goddamn life. I don't know what I would do if I were a family member and that woman was walking free on the street. Probably something really stupid and irresponsible and dangerous, but awful.
Well,
Awful.
and that I think a lot of people, that resonates with a lot of people. And let's remember that the deciding vote, and I believe you had her on the podcast, but the deciding vote on releasing the Epstein files is yet to have been sworn
They
in.
still won't swear her in. Mike Johnson can come up with every excuse he wants, including that his grinder addiction is too big to handle. But he won't swear in at Lisa Grijalva because she's vote 218.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this about Mike Johnson. He is setting a precedent that I doubt, but I wish future Speaker Hakeem Jeffries would follow, because the way they have treated Grijalva and many other things about how they've managed their relations with the minority party. I want to tell my Democratic friends this, and Hakeem, if you're listening, these people tried to kill you. They sent people to the Capitol to kill you. They have shown you who they are. They have devoted a year. We have had Congress in session for, in the last 90 days, 3 days. And they are out of session to cover up the sexual predator, Jeffrey Epstein, and the sexual predator, Ghislaine Maxwell, and their best friend and good buddy, Donald Trump. They're here to cover it up.
I think it bears repeating that they are willing.
The next time there's a Republican who's sworn in or due to be sworn in, I want the Grijalva rule to apply.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen for 60 days, 90 days. God knows how long. We could take a while. Could be a minute. I want Jeffries to say to these states that have gerrymandered, we don't really think that your seating, that your seat is legitimate. So we're going to review this for, 6 months, 10 months, maybe a year. The idea, Democrats would be like, oh, that's so unfair. People would get upset. Yes. Pain is the only teacher for these fuckers. Mm-hmm. Teach them.
Right. Well, and again, just to bring it full circle, like they're willing to prolong this, even though it might mean that people are missing paychecks.
Yep.
In the government, we have plenty of people about to miss paychecks if they haven't missed them already. It's disrupting air travel. So it's having ripple effects throughout communities. It's and the SNAP benefits not being paid out. That's going to affect businesses as well.
November 1st, no SNAP, no Head Start, and your Americans with Disabilities Act insurance, your Obamacare insurance, is going to go up somewhere between 18% of the low boundary from one estimate and up to 130% in other estimates. And then people are going to go bankrupt. At scale, many of them, lots and lots of them.
Oh yeah, because again, people are looking to refinance their mortgages right now.
Good luck.
Exactly. So,
Good luck.
but the resistance is here. I want to get to something positive. The No
Yes,
Kings
let's
rally.
do a little positiveness. Is.
Yes. Whose sign is this?
That was a sign I took at the Tallahassee No Kings protest, which for a town of 300,000 people, when 5,000 people show up at the Capitol, that means something. That is a big deal when that happens. And I was telling this story the other day. I have a normie friend who I know nothing about her politics at all. I've never had a talk with her about anything political at all. And I'm walking along and I see this baby shark outfit. And there's my friend in the baby shark with her kids and her husband there all at the event. I'm like, the fuck is this? And she's like, you know what? We just reached the point. Here we are. We just decided that this was our thing now. And people who don't understand how big what it takes to put 7 to 11 million people in the streets in a weekend, they are undercounting the degree of people in this country who are done with this. Mm-hmm. By the way, this photograph, just so we're all clear, the Republicans kept saying that first photograph of Boston was fake. It was AI. It is not. That is footage taken from an NBC helicopter that day. It has been verified. And for all the MAGAs in my time, I'm like, that's a fake picture. Please consult either the NBC station in Boston, Snopes, or any other fact-checking website, which has blown out your bullshit lie. If you don't believe these people are in the streets, why did MAGA spend so much time over the weekend saying nobody was in the streets? Nobody's there. It's all fine.
Well, what I've also noticed too is people speaking up on social media that I have seen secretly, liking posts and things, but not necessarily being vocal about their support for the resistance. And they were at No Kings rallies posting. So it felt like a sort of coming out event, if you will, for a lot of people who are like, okay, now is the time I'm actually going to use my platform to speak publicly and condemn what this administration is doing. And I think as the ICE raids spread throughout the Chicago suburbs and, threatening to send the National Guard into San Francisco, and people seeing, the Salesforce CEO flip-flop on his support of the Trump administration and bringing ICE into the Bay Area, I think a lot of people are going, oh, if not now.
I talked to somebody the other day who was very close to Mark Benioff for years. I mean, very, 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 very close relationship with Mark Benioff. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but it is a very known figure, very close to Benioff for years. And he's said to me that it's like, what is it? It's like this virus got in the guy's brain, and this idea that all these other guys in Silicon Valley were going to respect Mark Benioff for doing what they're doing already. He's like, most of them are like, they feel trapped, but their shareholder value rule, blah blah blah. That is one of the most devastatingly dumb things. Salesforce has taken a major hit because of it, and they're going to take an even bigger hit as AI replaces Salesforce anyway. But that idea you have to bend the knee just isn't true, guys.
It's short-sighted, I think, like, and embarrassing, really, in his case, because he's like, let me do a public pitch about Salesforce's capabilities to ICE. Like, it's just insane, especially at a time.
We got Palantir already on the game on that. There, Mark.
And in my No Kings, I'm in Portugal in Lisbon, and I attended the No Kings rally here. And let me tell you, the conversations that I had, I spoke with at least 5 or 6 different expats about what it is to defend democracy from abroad. And if you remember on tyranny, I think it's lesson number 16 that's learn from our peers. So we have a clip of some of those conversations. So I'd love to run that so you can see what the
let's play that.
That'd
be great.
I mean, I might live in Portugal, but my heart, I'm American.
I was in Lisbon, Portugal for No Kings Day and talked to a few expats about fighting for democracy from abroad.
It hurts so much to see people being disappeared off the street. We deserve to celebrate the diversity of our country.
I was born 7 blocks from where the Constitution was written. Grew up in Philadelphia. I love our democracy. I have a young son who's 21 years old, and he is brown-skinned. And we all know what's happening to people of brown skin back home in the U.S., and I'm terrified for him.
I grew up listening to my grandfather talk about the German occupation of World War II, and the parallels between that are beyond fucking scary.
We came here because we wanted a more interesting retirement, but I am still an American citizen, and I've been very, very active in protesting since 4th grade.
They think that because we have a democracy, a working democracy for all
years
this year, they think it's gonna just stay.
Some people check out when they move here. I cannot. I'm doing it to protect my son and to protect the Constitution.
It's so interesting to hear from the older generations of people who speak to their grandparents about these parallels,
Right.
because they see it. They see it. And I think it's important because that conversation went on longer, and I'll try to post a longer clip of it. But he goes on to say that people in the United States just don't know what it is to live with day-to-day fascism on the ground. And we're starting to learn. Obviously, we're seeing it now in New York City. ICE has finally come to New York City. We have that.
Eric Adams, of course, has made a corrupt deal, but here we go. Look at the body language of those ICE guys. Shoulders are down, heads are down. They know what they're doing.
Nobody wants them there. This mandate that they think they have, the people of New York City were not asking for this.
No.
So to roll in New York City, strong arming the people in basically tanks, and expecting to get the support of the people.
Yeah,
the
they're
people
showing
are-
up in these MRAPs and these Max Pros, and I'm like, well, what do you expect, that the people on Canal Street are going to come out with a fucking RPG? Get out of here. Grow up.
It's insane. It's performative. And these are images that kids are not going to be able to get out of their heads. And so this idea of fascism on the ground, it's happening it's happening in suburbs and cities everywhere. And so I think, and we're only 8 months into this now, Rick.
I know I'm obsessed about this particular point to communicate with some folks in ICE and federal law enforcement. Let me repeat, for the kids in the back licking that bus window in ICE, your actions will expose you to civil and criminal liability. Your actions will not protect you. Even if Trump promises to pardon you, you will not have immunity for illegal acts. You will not. And the idea that these guys are out there, again, without a badge, without a warrant, without probable cause, masked, violent, they're hitting American citizens increasingly, because this bullshit idea that there were millions of Tren de Agua terrorists was always a lie. And so they're rounding up and taking Americans to holding centers and holding them for a day and a half, denying them a lawyer, denying them food and water, denying them medical care. People are going to sue you, motherfuckers. And I am here for it. People are going to take you to court, and your little fucking goober mask you're wearing with the skull or the Punisher skull on it or whatever, it is not going to protect you. Your name will be known. Your family's name will be known. Your address will be known. You will go to jail. You will pay money. You will lose your retirement. all of you who think I'm just following orders and that'll protect me, may I refer you, and I know most of you are GED motherfuckers, but may I refer you to Wikipedia for the Nuremberg trials. Just following orders is not a sufficient protection for you. And I'm here for the day that this starts to turn a different direction.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now we're going to turn a direction into the lightning round because we're almost out of time, but we have our
lightning round.
Lightning round. Oh,
and
starting
water
with
is the essence of wetness.
So we've got a press. we've got a press secretary problem.
Yeah, we do.
Your mom did.
I will say this. I have known Sharish Date. Get this, folks. This is how long Sharish and I go back. I've known Sharish Date since 1995. He was a Palm Beach Post reporter when I met him. He works for Huffington Post now. He's a straight player. He's not a partisan. He calls it like he sees it. I would not say he's a fan of the fascism, but this is a legitimate question for a press secretary to answer. And Carolyn Levitt answers, your mom did. First off, she's an unserious little trifle. Okay, as my grandmother would say, a TW, you know what? But the idea that now there's no accountability to the people, and the fact is, folks, in the Constitution, the press is a constitutionally defined role. The founders believed that a free and open press was vital to a republic based on democratic principles, and Sharish is doing his job. And the Department of Trolling that defines all of these people is not insulting Sharish Date. It's insulting America. It's insulting the citizens of this country. It's insulting the people who want to know what that serious question that he asked, what they want to know an answer to it. She can't answer it because the answer is the boss in Moscow told Trump where to go. So she has to troll him. It's pathetic.
Yeah, and speaking of trolling, and on the taxpayer dime, the video that Trump posted.
If we must, we must.
I think we have it.
Puerile, vulgar, stupid, bad AI animation. I could make a list of all the reasons it's wrong to do that as a president, but you guys all know that.
Yeah. Also,
he's a sick old man. And by the way, anybody with a diaper valet, okay, anybody who is sport and depends and who has a notoriously rank fecal odor about him should not be making jokes about dropping shit on people.
Yeah, that was also a lot of shit to just come from one person. I don't know if that was all his shit.
Yeah,
that
President Shartley has no space to be talking about shitting on Americans. I mean, he does it metaphorically every single minute of every single day. And you know, the MAGA response is, okay, triggered libs, ha ha, snowflake. I promise you, when we did our video, Daddy Vladdy, and we had Trump in lingerie, the freak out from the MAGAs was like, how dare you sexualize? Y'all just told us what's off limits, and that means nothing.
Also, we're not the
if y'all MAGA,
we're not the president of the United fucking States.
If y'all MAGAs think that I won't do things that are so much worse than that with Trump as the victim in the video, oh, think again, my darlings.
But obviously, you know, and a lot of people are saying here he is once again distracting, seizing attention. Yep. And so this just goes to show, like, we're going to have to sustain the ability to do things like the No Kings March and then another march.
November 22nd, folks, day after my birthday.
Oh.
No Kings 3. This time it's personal.
I was like, part trois is the all right. Next, the arc to we already did the arc to Trump because we
yes,
but
the
did we talk
relic of
about-
the Indiana Jones and the Legend of the Tiny Penis. Yes.
Oh my god. Next.
Next.
Michael Wolff sues Melania Trump over for $1 billion.
$1 billion, just $1 billion. But she was starting to sue him for $10 billion. I know the law firm that brought the lawsuit against him, or threatened the lawsuit against him. It's the same guys that are threatening me to sue me for $1 billion against Trump. And to his credit, Wolf went right out and filed a countersuit and said, "Try me, motherfuckers." We just sent a nasty letter to the law firm basically saying, "Try us, motherfuckers." But Wolf went the next step and filed, which, by the way, we reserve the right to do at any time. But Michael Wolff is doing one of the things that the Trumps cannot get around. If Melania brings this suit, there's discovery, but she would limit it. And him bringing this suit, now we can get discovery of Melania and Donald, and Melania's going to have to be on video saying, "No, I do not know Jeffrey Epstein," and perjure herself. "No, I was here on legal visa. I am not escort." All this shit. Whether any of her lies or truths come out, it's going to put them in a position where they have to answer questions. And I promise you, if she's in there, she's going to be asked that question. Were you an escort? Yes or no?
Oh, I want that.
And she's not going to like that. Did you know John Casablanca? Yes or no? Did you know Brunel? Yes or no? Did you know Jeffrey Epstein before you met Trump? Yes or no? Did you have sex with Trump on the Lolita Express? Yes or no? She's going to have to answer a lot of questions. And folks, if I can think of those things just off the top of my big bald head, I promise you, Michael Wolff's very good lawyers can think of 1,000 more questions. And I would keep her, and then I would get Trump in there, and I would drag them through as many days of depositions as humanly possible. And by the by, since Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche are not Donald Trump's personal attorneys, their role in covering up the Epstein files, which is what this whole matter is about, also exposes them to being deposed. Her job as AG, his job as deputy AG, does not protect them from being deposed in a civil case. So this is why Donald Trump is not going to sue Michael Wolff for $10 billion, or Melania's not going to sue for $10 billion. And if she does, it'll be the most hilarious thing ever. But Michael Wolff, God bless him for going out there and saying, "Fuck you, not me."
Yeah, I think not the one. He says, "Not today, Satan."
Not today, Satan.
Good on him. Somebody who is saying yes today, always now. John Fetterman had his thoughts on things. We have that clip. No clip. We do not have the clip.
You know what? He just depresses the shit out of me anyway, so we're going to skip Fetterman.
Okay, yes.
And look, you know what? I interviewed the guy once before he sort of flipped. And you could have had Connor Lamb. But here we are.
Well, and I don't want to talk about Senate races too much, but I'm thinking of the Graham Plattner race and the comments. I just want to let everybody know I do tip. And I tip bartenders, and I just need people to know that. And I'm sorry if you get a chance to ask a question about another race, and the only question that is on your mind is why don't black people tip? My tip for him is to ask yourself, maybe there's different questions you could ask, like come up with different.
So I will say this, there's a lesson to be drawn from the Plattner situation. I think he still may win the primary. I still think he could beat Susan Collins, given the circumstances of the country. A fundamental lesson for anybody considering running for office, the most important research you hire your opposition researcher to do is not to try to find out that your opponent orders used panties from OnlyFans. The most important opposition research to do in a campaign is on yourself.
Yep.
And you should tell that person that's doing your oppo, find the worst fucking thing about me you can find out. Find the thing that people will say, holy shit, what the hell?
And the thing is, he doesn't think it's bad, like the question. And I can understand, fine, I can understand the curiosity, but if you're given, it just goes to show that, to me, if you can't think of a different question or a better question when you're given that opportunity, I'm already going, what? I just want us to have some sort of standards that, and I know probably a lot of people are screaming at me in the comments about this, but
well, I will say this about Plattner. I would take 1,000 Plattners over one fucking Susan Collins who says, "Oh, my pearls are being clutched because Donald Trump upsets me," and then she goes and votes for him 97% of the time.
Yeah. Oh, no. Definitely yes, that. Maybe Graham Plattner, if you're watching this, you can come on.
Straighten up and fly right, son.
Yeah. We'll have a conversation. All right. What's our next one? JD Vance. And he's in the Middle East. He said that Jared Kushner is an investor in the Middle East peace talks.
I was more.
Was that a metaphor? Was it a metaphor for investment?
I don't know. But all I care about this week is that Vladimir Putin is still not defended, or still not explained why he wanted to defend the Nazi YRs, because they all turned out to be a bunch of fucking Nazis. Sorry, JD, you didn't get a pass on that one, there, champ. Vladimir Putin, I just love it beyond words.
I was like, speaking of Nazis, there was another group chat leak.
Paul Ingracia, who said, "Yes, I have a Nazi streak." Well, that streak has been broken this week. And by the way, the best part of it was what was happening behind the scenes. We'll do a little reporting here. I have a source who told me today this was a rare win for Susie Wiles in the White House, where she was able to defeat Stephen Miller, who wanted Ingracia to stick with it, wanted the president and the White House to pressure these Republican senators. I am told that Susie Wiles took the victory on this by basically calling John Thune and other people and saying, it would help us out here, kill this guy before we embarrass ourselves.
Even more. I was like, I don't know.
Even more. Yeah. But this guy, the best part though, hours before he pulled out, his mom was calling senators trying to get them to.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Were you part of that alpha male master race, that alpha male master race white supremacists who need mommy to call?
Hey, shout out to him for having a mom who cares. Like
God bless,
a helicopter mom when you're
God bless you, mom.
Adult. Like she's like an Apache helicopter mom. Like that is like
helicopter gunship mom.
I'm not mad at her. Like I'm a little bit of a helicopter mom, I'm not gonna lie. All right. Oh God, I forgot the there's no free press left at the Pentagon. There's just
Mike Lindell's My Pillow guy, as Riley said earlier, not the Onion. The Pentagon press corps used to be one of my jobs, was to talk to the Pentagon press back in the dawn of time. Folks, it is now Lindell TV and Tim Pool and Jack Possum Bottom, whatever his name is, Posobiec, and the Daily Caller and the Free Bacon and all these other absurd far-right things. And they've all signed a loyalty oath saying they won't report anything that they're not given by Pete Hegseth's press office. That word report is the key word they're missing here. They're stenographers now. They're not reporters.
Yeah. They're glorified secretary.
I said this, I wrote this the other day. When Hegseth announced this policy, in my 4.5 years at the Pentagon, I dealt with a lot of sensitive blah, blah, blah. And reporters would sometimes come to us and say, "Hey, I found out about this or that." And if you said to them, "This is a matter of national security and you will endanger the lives of our troops or our airmen or our Marines or our sailors," they'd say, "How can I report it differently so I don't endanger them?" Maybe they would still report something, but it wouldn't be that. If they came to us and said, hey, we found corruption and graft and fraud, waste, and abuse, you know what our policy was? Hands off. You do you. Because none of us wanted to get called before a congressional committee. Hey, why did you lie about blah, blah, blah?
Well, and
most people covering the Pentagon are professionals, are smart people who understand the boundaries. Pete Hegseth wants people at the Pentagon who are going to say, SecDef Pete, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, his rippled body muscle gleaming with oil, approached the podium today and said, touch my nipples. Whatever. That's what they want. And they're going to get it from these idiots. You think Mike Lindell's TV channel is going to do anything except, oh, yes, Pete, we love you.
But it's still not going to stop the leaks. And I think that's
of course not. They're going to be 100 times worse now.
Exactly.
There's these people are still assigned to the beat. They're still assigned to the building. And I just have a piece of bad news for Hegseth's press guy, Sean Parnell. Cell phones with signal on them. You might know about Signal, Sean. You might have heard of that.
Yeah. But I guess they're not worried about any kind of accountability because the last up in our lightning round is Steve Bannon seems to think that they're never going to have to worry about accountability because Trump is going to be president again in 2028.
Well, he's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president in 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan, and President Trump will be the president in 28. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. And the way we finish it through Trump. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will. And you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
He dropped a fucking AI video dropping shit on protesters, and this guy is like, he's an instrument of divine will. What?
I'm going to be so careful the way I say this. But if Steve Bannon and Donald Trump and his people believe that they're going to subvert the Constitution and have him become president again, all bets are off. All bets are off. At that point, you're going to get exactly what you want out of this whole process. All bets are off. The people that are going out in the street for no kings, they will come out in bigger numbers, and they will be angrier, and there will be nothing you can do to stop it. It will be a moment in this country where the people will rise up and they will strike them down with a furious anger. And it will destroy the Republican Party forever. He will not be in office. And every one of the people trying to do this is going to go to prison. Or worse. All bets are off.
Yeah, because there's that Constitution and people took an oath to it.
They may think that oath is fungible or dismissible. All bets are off at that point.
Well, based on the faces of the generals during Pete Hegseth's little chat a few weeks ago, I'm willing to bet that there are plenty of people in the military high up who would not go down that road.
Knock wood. Bad JoJo there, man. That is not a pretty place to go.
Yeah. So
all bets are off at that point.
What we need to do as a people, because they're finagling with the elections and the election boards, and they're doing all sorts of things as they try to get voter rolls, and we need to make sure that this goes beyond our tight circles of family and friends, and people need to register to vote check your voter registration now, and then check it again. Make it a weekly, a monthly thing. If you're going to need voter ID in your state, make sure that you get it. Help other people get it. This cannot be something where we come out for the No Kings rallies, but then we don't come out for the midterms. We don't come out for the special elections. We already see what the difference it can make when people come out for a special election. And so please, please, for the love of our democracy, get active,
Get out
use
and
your voice, your platform. It doesn't matter if it's 20 people, 30 people, or 2 people. Every vote is going to matter in this election, as it always does, because democracy, and we make it work by actually doing
it.
Yeah. Yeah, guys.
Don't push us much further there, Bannon. Don't.
See that?
You will not like it. It will not end the way you think it's going to end.
Nope. Yeah. Well, Rick, I think we're
I think we've probably worn out our welcome with the audience tonight. Everybody, thank you for watching, as always. We appreciate you very much. I'm at the end of this process of writing a new book, and I'm tired.
Wait, and you had the PBS thing. Tell the people about the
Oh,
PBS.
yeah. They did a great thing on PBS that aired on Tuesday, I guess it was, called Breaking the Deadlock. And it was fascinating show. You can get it on PBS. It's streaming. It's on YouTube and whatnot. Really interesting event. Really interesting thing. I had a lot of fun doing it. And it's actually rather civil. I didn't tear anybody's head off and fly around the audience crapping on people. So
yeah, it wasn't like the Gen X version of Surrounded on Jubilee, where people are at each other's throats.
Right. Sunday, the kind of thrills and spills you, the fans, want to see and hear on PBS.
They can't do Gen X Surrounded on Jubilee because our knees wouldn't allow us to get up quickly enough. I feel like, oh God, no, I need to.
It's weird. It's like I don't feel 61 years old, but sometimes, like recently, I was out in the yard. I got down on my hands and knees, I was doing something. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh yeah. No. My knee cricks in ways that it shouldn't. I get hot flashes when I shouldn't, and I'm all like, "Oh yeah." Someone's there, like, "I thought you were in your 20s." I was like, "Oh no."
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you.
I know, so sweet of y'all. All right, guys, we'll see y'all next week.
See you, folks.